One recent report on the gender pay gap in the Valley found that a woman with a bachelor's degree here tends to make 60% less than a man with the same degree.
But her still-forming campaign's likely leaders are mostly men. In her U.S. Senate office, women were paid an average of 72 cents for every dollar earned by men. The median salary for men was nearly 16 grand more than women. The women of The View were not impressed.
You know, I love Hillary.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. I was shocked. I was like, oh no, this doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't, does it? Joining us now, Raffi Williams, Deputy Press Secretary for Youth and Conservative Media for the Republican National Committee. And Raffi, I mean, this is just insane that Hillary has the guts to stand up there and talk about the war on women when she was part of the war on women when she was a U.S. Senator.
It really is remarkable to me, Steve. And the thing that really gets me is it's typical of liberals. You say one thing and then go do another. They want to be held to different standards than everybody else. And this is Hillary, again, showing her disconnect from the times and from people. She's going to claim that she's been leading on these kind of issues, but her Senate payrolls show a different story and tell the real truth here.
And of course, you know, the media scrutiny, I mean, that was a Fox News report, but and to The View's credit, they picked up on this report from the Washington Free Beacon as well. But the double standard is just, you know what it is, and it's incumbent upon you and the Republican Party and prospective presidential candidates to trumpet this news, because the mainstream media is not going to talk about it.
Look, we have to talk about these issues everywhere we can. We have to make sure that's getting out on every medium possible. And that's because, again, as you said, the mainstream media doesn't want to pick up on these issues that are of very important issues. Because when Hillary's going to go out there, when she's going to claim that she's working for women's rights and to make sure that women are seen equally in the workplace, she's forgetting that she has not treated women the same way, that her campaign is going to be run mostly by men. And so this whole idea, this brand that she's trying to create, is actually a fallacy, and it's not something that really holds up against the test of time. It's the same way when you look into the foreign donations the Clinton Foundation received and the foreign speaking gigs that Bill Clinton did while she was Secretary of State. Was that pay for play? What's really going on beneath the surface there? There's still some digging that needs to be done.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because you gave me a natural segue. Politico today, and you know, they're not to the right by any means. Politico did a huge story today. If you print it up, it's 9 pages, about Hillary's State Department routinely okaying Bill Clinton's big money speeches, and they focus on one in particular that was to a Chinese group, and a wealthy hedge fund manager wanted to pay for it, an undisclosed amount, through a charity set up by the president of China's wife. I mean, a whole big thing. And they signed off on it. They signed off on every one of his speeches, just about. And my God, you know, to focus on what Scott Walker thinks about what a private citizen, Rudy Giuliani, said, and to ignore this. Why not ask every Democratic politician what they think of this? But they'll never do that.
Well, every Democrat candidate, every Democrat in the U.S. should be asked, do you think it's okay that it looks like there was pay to play here? I mean, just the other day when we found out the Clinton Foundation was taking donations from foreign entities, there were chair people of the Democratic Party in states like New Hampshire and Iowa who were saying, this isn't ethical, this isn't right, you need to return these donations. And the chorus is there with Republicans already. So what you're seeing here now is this narrative of Hillary being inevitable, of all Democrats backing Hillary, disappearing as more people are asking questions. Now with this latest revelation, you've even had Joe Biden, who was the chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee when this agreement was reached between the State Department and the Clintons about what speeches would be allowed and not allowed. He was asked about this whole thing today and said, I don't know enough about it. Well, if you're chair of the Foreign Relations Committee, don't you think you should have a prominent role in determining whether our Secretary of State is involved in pay-to-play scandals?
Maybe he told some of his Somali cab driver friends in Delaware at the time about it, and we could go talk to them and see what they remember he said about it at the time. Oops, there are no Somali cab drivers in Delaware, as he falsely claimed. I mean, you talk about another guy who gets a total pass, whether he's acting creepy around little girls, or sniffing the perfume and putting their hands on the shoulders of grown women, or saying what could be construed as racist things. They all laugh at Joe Biden. That's another horrific double standard. Hey, Raffi, always great to talk to you. I say this all the time. Say hello to your dad, and we'll speak to you soon, sir.
Will do. Thanks, Steve.
Take care. Raffi Williams, ladies and gentlemen, RNC. He gets it. He gets it. They get it over there. this just has to translate to, whoever the candidate is against Hillary, they have to not only get it, but they have to not be afraid to show that they get it. All right, the closing bell report is next. Don't go away.